Hello, it's another episode of the Hello Mentor podcast. Today we have Julie and Marcus with us from Lilin+Co. Hello, hi.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this chat. And in your own words, I would love if either of you could introduce Lilin+Co to us.
Sure. I'll leave it to Julie.
So, Lilin+Co, we call ourselves a modern fragrance studio. We do scented home products, handmade by our team here in KL. Started in 2016, and what makes us different, I guess I would say, is we offer affordable but quality products that won't break the bank for the customers.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Scented home products.
That's right. Of course, maybe in future we may not be talking about home anymore, but maybe personal fragrance. Who knows? Yeah, that's all in
Right.
R&D at the moment.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And what are some of these like home products?
So we started with soy candles specifically. Soy because we felt that there was a trend at that time where people were eating consciously, being very healthy with their food. So why not also be, in a way, healthy with your scented products at home that you were burning? So it's non-toxic, eco-friendly, and biodegradable, safe for pets, safe for home. So that's why we started the brand as well, with soy candles. And that kind of translated to our other products, our reed diffuser, which is plant-based, so no alcohol inside, which means it also lasts longer as it evaporates slower. Room sprays, and then now we have a plant-based hand wash as well. So we kind of collectively build a range that is not just great in fragrance, but also you have peace of mind when you use it, knowing that it's not harmful to yourself or, your loved ones.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well, I actually didn't know there was a thing like a soy candles.
Yes, that's right.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Quite interesting.
Right. As you're saying, as I'm had soybeans, like, so,
Oh, yeah. Finland, soybeans.
okay. Right. Oh.
So it's not just your taufu fa or, soya bean.
But I think like, soy milk, soybean.
Yeah, I mean, people are, into oat milk now, plant-based milk, right?
Plant-based.
And obviously it's for health reasons. So it's the same with, your candles that you're burning up.
I see. And you say you started this in 2016.
Yep.
2016, that's right.
Right.
But for the longest time, it was our side hustle.
Yes.
Right, so it started as a side. So I would love to hear the story from like how perhaps it started as a side hustle. How do you make the decision that let's do this side hustle? And I guess at that, and also like at what point did you feel that, let's make this the main hustle?
Yep. So, what?
So side hustle, I think the idea came about when I returned back from a cousin's wedding in Australia. Soy candles were all the rage there. So she gave them out as her wedding favor. And when I brought it home, I was like, okay, this smells great. I wanted to look more into it. And I think at that time, we were also actively kind of like, in a way, we didn't realize it, but we were looking for a business, to be honest. People think that, you must love candles or scents. But actually, we were looking for a business idea, to be honest. And then we just randomly, bought some supplies. I think mostly that was Marcus.
Yeah.
He has a curious mind. So
Question was like, how hard could it be? It's just one product. Yeah, but it was, probably quite a very, very challenging question to answer.
Yeah,
To
and-
produce because we had no background in it. So, we just bought a lot of supplies actually. We imported a lot of things from a lot of different countries, tested them out, and took us like almost a year before we even launched the
there were hardly any local supplies. So it was quite hard to find local suppliers. And we are talking about a period where YouTube is not even like that mature until today. Today, you Google anything, YouTube will come out with a video on how to do it. But back then, not really. Yeah. So we had to go on like forums, like Reddit or
Yeah.
things like that to try to figure out, troubleshoot on, coming up with the perfect looking, smelling candle.
Right.
Yeah.
It sounds easy like in today's world, right? But back then, I think information wasn't as readily available.
Right.
And it's not even that long ago, right? Like today, like you can just go hop onto Shopee or something and buy like all sorts of stuff, right? But back then, there was no such thing as Shopee.
Right.
Because, like bringing things in was a lot tougher because there's no information on how to even bring something in, Today, there's like probably 100 YouTube videos on how to use DHL and FedEx and
There's no AI.
right? So yeah, and then just like, hey, how do I like bring something in? Then like 10 answers comes out, like no such thing, right? So we just had to experiment and like really just try our luck. And some things were even held at customs, and we were like, oh, like we don't even know because we're not even in this industry. So yeah.
And then I think we were lucky at that point. When there was sales, we did it, participated in weekend markets. That's where we really connected with our first layer of customers. And we only until 2019, right before pandemic, Marcus was like, hey, I think we can do this full time. So I think here's an interesting story about how he transitioned as well.
Yeah. So we never really looked at the numbers when we were doing it on the side, because we were just like day jobs from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, right? And then Saturday, Sunday is taken up by making the product itself. So whatever little time we had, we were just like, oh, okay, I think we're okay, we're not losing money. I feel it was all these gut feelings, like my bank account is not like in the red, right? So I think we should be doing good, right? So it was just that. Yeah. Right. Because we were like doing so much and with so little time, and only come 2019, we were like, hang on, like something's growing, but like we're doing okay. And we're getting busier and busier, and we were looking forward towards the weekend and any public holiday available to even make more products, right? So that was when we started sitting down and having a look at all the numbers, and we went like, oh, okay, I think we can do this, I think. So I told Julie that, oh, why don't I take sabbatical for 3 months and try this out? The three most busiest month of the year, which was October to December, and see whether this could work out. And I did it, and after that we were like, okay, yeah, this number stacks up. I think we can make a living out of this. So that was when we started transitioning. So I transitioned first, and then a year later Julie joined us as well. Yeah.
So he transitioned in March. Just
at the start of the pandemic, I threw my letter in.
At the start?
Yeah, so actually right before the pandemic, like
January.
2 weeks before the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so then after that, we came back from a very short getaway, and then, we were hearing news about the lockdown and all that abroad, and then we were like, okay, like what's going on,
Right.
Yeah, so, and then I fully transitioned, I think like a month after the pandemic started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
which actually worked out was a blessing for us, because we had no idea what the pandemic would bring, and it was even more crazy for us in terms of the business. It accelerated and propelled our growth super crazy.
Right, because everyone, I guess, when you're in lockdown,
What are you looking
there's
for?
not much to do. You was looking for interesting stuff.
Interesting stuff,
Everybody-
things to help with their anxiety as well. We had a lot of customers who said they had anxiety, and they bought our stuff to calm themselves and relax. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I can see that, right?
Yeah, and
Because not much to do, right?
yes, exactly. And everybody was like stuck at home, and suddenly they realized, oh, I need to make my home look better, and like, things need to smell better too, because I'm here like 24/7, right? So yeah, that we did very well.
But that must have been a pretty bold decision for you, right? Because no one can predict what it would be like.
And it was very, very scary as well, because I remember telling Julie at that time, I was like, oh no, I resigned. And the pandemic started. Like, is this the end of our tiny little business that we thought could sustain us?
Right.
So I remember that first weekend when the lockdown happened, Julie was like, oh, there's absolutely no sales. Like, sales was zero. It was the first time since we started our business that there was no orders over the weekend at all. And then she was like, oh, what should we do? And I remember telling her, oh, why don't we do free shipping for any purchases above a certain amount, right? And at that point in time, it was 150, I think. And that was just as simple as two or three candles, right? So then we were like, okay, why don't we just do that and relax and see what happens? Like I'm
No expectation.
no expectations whatsoever. And then the following week, I think all of our early customers saw the message, saw the emails, and just started buying, and we never stopped working since. And we would start our day jobs. I was, servicing my doing my notice, and I would start work at 9 a.m. I'll finish work at 5 p.m. and then start Lilin+Co at 5 p.m. all the way down to midnight. And that was every day during the first pandemic and the second pandemic. No, like it was just consistently like that every single day.
Right.
Yeah.
So flat out.
Yeah, we were flat out. Like, we weren't even thinking about the pandemic. We were just thinking about how do we not disappoint.
How do we
everyone
cope
that
with the
much,
orders?
You know.
Yeah, because we didn't have help as well. We didn't want people to get into trouble coming into work through the roadblocks and all. So we had to told our part timers, I think you don't come in. Let us handle ourselves. So we were doing everything from production, packing orders, inquiries,
Yeah,
payments.
payments, everything.
Yeah, it was insane.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So that was not a relaxing pandemic for us.
So everybody was like, on their Nintendo with like all the games and all, and like Dalgona coffee and whatnot. We were like, we have no time for this. We were like, what do we do first?
Right. Well, in some sense, your product helped them cope, lah.
Yeah, I hope so. Also, I hope that our product really brought a lot of comfort times to them during a very trying time.
Right. And who's like yes, you are a couple.
Yes, we are. Yeah, we're married. Yeah.
Yes, you're married. And how do you decide who does what?
I think that part came quite naturally because of our very, very contrasting background in very different industries. So I came from consulting and then banking subsequently. So I took on most of the back-end work. Even right now, I do like all the accounting work, all the IT part, on the website and whatnot. And all the imports and all the operations, yeah.
And I naturally, from my background, I was involved in more of the creative side, marketing, branding, social media. It was my interest and also where I came from. So I just naturally took on that role since day one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you do like the front of the
Yes, that's right. And also I think because because of my job, I had a lot of like contacts and I meet a lot of people, right? I used to be the one interviewing people too. So naturally, people would come to me for like partnerships, collaborations.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And who decides on the product?
Good question. I think it starts from Julie because she has more on the creative side.
Right.
And then most of the time it's just like social media or like trips or just looking out in any avenue, and she'll ask me like, oh, do you think we can do something like this? And then I'll be like, oh yeah, let's try, and then I would embark on the R&D journey and see whether it's something that we can do or it's something that we need to find more suppliers on and make it work,
Right.
But having said that, I think Marcus does bring some stuff as well because he is on the lookout for things that are unique and not, so widely available in the market. For example, like our wooden wick candles. It was his idea who suggested to use wooden wicks that crackle like a little mini fireplace when you light it up. So that was something new in Malaysia that Malaysians haven't seen or experienced before. And I think how he got that idea was just by
watching videos online, I guess. Like I consume a lot of nonsensical videos, like a lot of like DIYs, and like Julie will always like rap me for like doom scrolling at night, I'm always watching all this random stuff like how things are made, or like, it's just little rise. That kind of inspires us as well. Going like, oh, can we do this? Can we incorporate it into the business? Can we tweak this a little bit? And then like, see how we can bring it in. Yeah.
I always found that sometimes if you go, as in, if you go sideways a little bit, like you never know where the idea might come.
Yeah. And like, watching like random stuff, like I watch a lot of like making kind of videos. Like people, like in the West, people do a lot of things with their hands, and like they're in their garage, right? They have like all these tools and all that. And we don't have a lot of that. So I'm always like fascinated by that. And we don't grow up in that culture. So I'm always curious as to how they manage to achieve a certain thing, Right. So I'm always like watching, and some ideas come. I sometimes a little crazy. But sometimes, I think it works out.
So that kind of curiosity and that, tinkering around and trying to figure out how things work. I think that's what he, contributes and brings as well in terms of like the new products.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of maybe the ideas might come from you.
Yeah.
Right, Julie, and then like you
kind of fine-tune it,
or like figure out can we do it or not.
Yeah, absolutely. And in Malaysia, I think I don't know if you experience it as a business owner, but we from making world, there's a lot of things that's not available to us as compared to like the West or like even Japan and Korea, right? So we have to be a bit, more resourceful in finding things or like finding replacement parts here just to make it work for our landscape.
Right. Oh, okay. So this part is a lot of people don't see this, right?
No.
You don't. Yeah.
Exactly like how you wanted to adapt the American version of a podcast to a local, right?
Yes.
Yeah, something like that. So
Yes.
therefore,
Yeah, so off camera, I was speaking to Julia and Marcus earlier about like why we started the Hello Mental podcast, and sometimes there's a lot of career advice like from American podcasts, but or like even British podcasts, but they're not so relevant.
Yeah.
Because we operate in a very different environment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. A lot of things that are widely available to them is nowhere to be found here.
Right.
we're still third world in that sense. I always say that.
Growing, yeah.
Well, what are some things that are a particular challenge, let's say, in terms of like sourcing?
I think so we're actually working with another brand. I won't go into too much detail, right? So we're actually trying to build a product from scratch, right? A lot of components are fabricated for this particular product, right? So and one of it is a metal component, and we want to basically fabricate a hinge, right? So hinges are this part here, right? We can't buy ready-made stuff because it doesn't fit into that particular product. So we're trying to hunt down a fabricator in Malaysia to see whether they can fabricate something like that. But so far we have, not succeeded. Whereas there are no makers, there's no metal smithers that do things like that. Right? They do a lot of common things like stainless steel sheets or like stainless steel pipes, right? Like very industrial, very commonly available products, but they will not venture any further than that. Right? Like they won't do more specialized things like hinges or like special sized nuts, special sized bolts. Whereas in the US, you'll find, like plenty of makers trying to do something like that, right? And in our world, we deal with a lot of like 3D makers as well. So a lot of the 3D makers in the US are even printing 3D metal parts from scratch, right? So as long as you can give them like a drawing, it can be fabricated. It's not an issue. Right. Whereas here, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. Yeah. Okay. So we're struggling to find something like that.
Basically, all the seafoods we don't have many left as well in this, compared to our neighbors like in Indonesia or Thailand. They still have a lot of people who still do these kind of things. Yeah.
This like from the manufacturing world.
So right. I wouldn't say that we are big scale manufacturing, and we're not anywhere close to that. But I would say like we're more maker level, right? Like, but yeah, in that sense, nothing's available.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. And in fact, I would say that if you all manage to crack stuff like that, right? So you're operating in terms of physical goods,
yes,
and in a very localized kind of market. My sense is that as a business is a pretty strong position. So we are that company, and we are the digital platform, and obviously we pay a lot of attention to things like AI. And repeatedly, what I'm hearing is that the most resilient and successful space to be in is in like stuff that's in the physical world. Because there's because there's in the digital world, it's so easy to create now.
Yeah.
So whereas here I'm hearing stories like you want to like create a physical hinge. It's a very long process to getting it done.
It is.
So you just validated his dreams of being a manufacturing titan. Which is
It's tough. It's very, very, very.
Yes. But because it's so difficult to get it, that's where the value is.
Yeah.
It's so difficult to create this hinge,
I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, forget about the world where there are robots. That's like a completely different world. Just if we talk about short, medium term, seems like if you figure it out, it's a very strong mode.
Absolutely. But just hunting it down is a challenge. Yeah. So we face very, very different challenges from tech companies, right? We were more on skills, like real human skills, right? And sometimes it's also about knowledge as well. So like we have a lot of engineering graduates, right? We have universities built for engineering graduates, but why don't we have companies that manufacture things for small scale manufacturers or like specific components, right? Why are we just so focused on, you know, the more generic common things like building a car or like very, very, you know, things like that. So yeah, so I think like you said, you know, like we do, it does look like there's a gap in the market there.
Yeah.
Right. And if we can position ourselves to fit that, you know, that area, I think we'll do very well. Like Malaysia will do very well. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And as I'm always very curious about the working dynamic of life, being like you're married, a couple working in a business together. We've interviewed couples before, so and I've always found like, how do you draw the line?
Yeah.
I mean, between number one is like job scope, and number two between work and like your personal life, because sometimes there is no line, right? So yeah, how do you all do it?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
Yeah, I think honestly speaking, I don't think that there's a line. To say that there's a line between your personal life and your business life is probably a lie. Fights are endless. It never ends at 5 p.m. You know, like it just carries on. Like we drive home for 1 hour in total silence and then, you know, the fight continues.
Oh my god.
I think we have come to a stage where we have worked past that friction to understand where each other is coming from.
Right.
But I come from a very, very functional perspective. Right. So whereas Julie comes from very artistic, very design, very lifestyle driven, right? So I also try to see things from her perspective,
right?
I guess.
Like a feeling.
And
intuitive feeling.
And I think we both are mature enough to know that there's a line of things we shouldn't say and cross.
Right.
So that's where I guess the argument ends. But anything, you know, before that is kind of a free for all, like 24/7.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
I think maturity, just working.
Right.
That's it. Yeah.
I think definitely we have gotten better at it from day one. Even though a lot of people ask us, we still do not recommend it, working together as a couple. We do not recommend it. Yeah.
You say this, but a lot of successful businesses started this way.
Yeah. Like, I think like in the early days, I was quite reluctant maybe to, for an example, I was quite reluctant to maybe like spend on like scaling the business or investing in certain things like, let's say, light machinery. Maybe like it would be a 10,000 ringgit bill. And I'll be like, wow, that's a big number.
Right.
So,
Which it is
for a small business. But today, if Marcus tells me like, I think we need to buy this machine, I wouldn't say no immediately. I would say, okay, how much is it? Maybe like how many headcount can he potentially replace? And what's our long-term goal for this machine, let's say. So I would try to see things from his perspective to rationalize that purchase. And I think the same goes with new products as well. If we want to come up with a new product offering, I will also take his view into account. Okay, Marcus, I have this idea for a new product, but how can we operationalize it? Is it doable or not? And where can you meet me in the middle? I still want my aesthetic, but you need to tell me how you can operationalize it.
Right.
Yeah. So we will come to that kind of discussion and try to move forward with both our requirements.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it sounds very civil when we put it into words, but I think there's still a lot of arguments.
Oh yeah.
It's just learning to understand each other and see where each other is coming from.
Yeah. And I suppose if you're married, it means obviously you're very close. There's none of them very close. I mean, for example, let's say in like an environment like, let's say, hierarchy in office, if a head of department disagrees with another head of department, there's still some level of what's what I'm looking for? Restraint. Right? In terms of how you speak to each other, because you are two separate people. And arguments, even if they get heated, there's still some restraint, right? But when you're very close, it comes out raw, right?
Yes, it does. And it does hurt the other person's feeling because it comes out so raw.
Yeah.
Right. But I feel that the outcome of conversations like that tends to be a lot more effective and a lot more concise, I guess.
Oh yeah, yeah, do it very
So
fast.
yeah, we can do it very fast because we're always arguing about it, and we come to a conclusion faster, I guess, instead of like snaking around the elephant in the room.
Right.
Yeah, we take it on like head on, I guess.
And ultimately, we have the same goal, right?
Yeah.
Which is to run a successful business long
Yes.
term. So, if we are united in that goal, then we should be able to come to a conclusion to move forward.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I would say that.
Do you have like, I don't know, like formal CEO roles? Like who's the CEO?
No, we always say that we are employee 0001, we practically do everything, and I don't think we've ever formalized like titles between the two of us. Yeah, we probably just do whatever it takes to achieve a goal.
But we have discussed potentially in future hiring an outside CEO. We don't know.
Yeah, simply because, like as the business grows bigger, there's a lot of firefighting, activities, and maybe Julie wants to take a step back and do other more creative work, right? So, like leaving the firefighting work to someone else may be a better idea, but that's a very, very
Right, like a professional who's experienced operationally.
Yeah.
To run a.
hopefully, yeah, maybe, yeah, because I mean, we came into this not knowing anything. We don't have any manufacturing backgrounds. We don't have any makers background. We were just hacking it until it worked, So yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of other things for us to do, and yeah, we don't necessarily want to be stuck doing firefighting work all day long.
Right.
Yeah.
I asked about the CEO thing more because in most organizations there's always a CEO.
Yeah.
And the reason is more because I mean even at the head of department level, when there are disagreements,
Yeah.
there are sometimes you get to a point where there is no way to reconcile those differences in opinion. So typically the CEO is still like the tiebreaker lah.
Okay.
At that point where like, you just like you cannot combine the two things.
Yeah.
The CEO actually becomes a tiebreaker.
Yeah. I think what we've been doing has been okay so far. Like if there's anything that the entire team does not agree on, I try to put it to a vote. Like try to make it as democratic as possible, I guess, because our team members are also users of the brand, right? So they have valuable insights that, as a maker, I may not have because I'm so down there in the trenches that I think my product is probably the best in the world that, the users may not think so, right? So we also try to get as much input from them as possible as well.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't think we've ever vetoed any decision unless we think it's commercially unviable.
Right.
Yeah, but we also still try to find options, right, to make up for it.
And we're still at this scale where it's still quite small. So it's basically mom and dad and the kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mom and dad and the kids. So we're still at that scale where it's like that for now.
It's easier to find
Easier.
kind of
Yeah,
agree.
middle ground, yeah.
Right.
But we don't necessarily shout over there, right? Like, although they're mom and dad, I guess.
Right.
But we're trying to, like, yeah.
What's the head count size, like roughly?
We're only a team of 8 people, including ourselves.
Right.
9
Yeah.
people, including ourselves. We're still very, very small in comparison to a lot of other businesses out there. But we try to make it as efficient as possible. We supplement a lot of the heavy duty work with light machineries. So it's a human plus machine kind of combo
Right.
that is enabling our scaling.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you should treasure this head count moment.
Yes, everybody tells us that. Yeah, and we do. We really want to keep it small. We don't foresee that we will grow to a size of like 1,000 people, or anything like that.
Sure.
Right?
We also.
Yeah.
Even at this scale now, sometimes we are like, what did we get ourselves into?
Because we were once a lot further smaller.
We'll do further smaller, and we're of course able to, move quicker in that sense when it's just two of us. In that,
Yeah.
From personal experience, I find that the culture changes every time it count doubles or triples.
Really tells us like
So under 10 is a type like, like mom and kids. Kids are a bit like,
everybody on the same table, it's like just working on the same table and like trying to figure out things, right?
But even from 8 to 3 is also a big difference. We always feel like you said the founding members are the ones you truly remember and cherish as well.
Yeah. But once you break 10, it changes, right? And then you want to break 20 or 30 years again. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
We look forward to those days. Hopefully, we will stay small for now.
Right. Okay, so I mean, it sounds like when you do have genuine disagreements, you just spend the time to work it out until there is agreement.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I think no point you sweep it under the rug because it's a small company. It'll come back eventually. So, yeah, we need, and unlike corporate where, like some problems will go away on its own, right? Or they'll disappear into the oblivion. Like, we're making products, right? The problem will not go away, until the product is produced.
Right.
Yeah. So, like, you have to face it.
Right. And in that, so 2016 until now was 10 years.
Yeah, we're celebrating our 10th year next year.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
What is the biggest hurdle you had to overcome in this last 9 years now, I suppose?
I think for me, it's scaling without funding. Still self-funded until today. There is limitations on how we can grow forward. And I think it also is getting tougher, right? Margins thinner, expenses higher, salaries increase. How do you offer like a competitive salary to someone when you're still at this scale, self-funded? There are limitations. And then the other thing I would say is staying relevant in an ever-changing world today as well. 10 years, yes, almost 10 years is a feat, but it just gets tougher and tougher.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's for me.
Totally agree.
And when you say self-funded, is it from the point of view of like the concern of running out of money?
Yes, absolutely. And making bad decisions or making decisions where things don't sell, right? Because unlike services, we rely exceptionally on products, right? And if we invest in a product that doesn't sell,
Right.
then we're stuck with everything, and there's no coming back from it. Right. So we always have to be very, very sure, or we have to be resourceful enough to find suppliers that would sell us in a much smaller quantity for us to test the market with.
Right.
Yeah. So that is for me on our operations side always the challenge.
Right.
Yeah. And every single ringgit that we spend is coming out from our pockets, right? So we have to be absolutely sure that it will sell, right? And how do we know? Well, we don't know, right? And it's just that question comes out every day. Like, are we sure? Are we sure? Are we not sure? Are we sure?
Right. Yeah. Right. Do you have moments where, like, you may actually run out of money? Like, it's very common in the tech space. I'll get to why. But I'm very curious about you. Like, do you get those moments?
Thankfully, we have been very prudent enough to not face situations like that. We have been very, 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 I cannot stress the word very careful on what we spend on and what kind of products that we want to bring into the market.
Very strategic.
We are very conservative in that
Right.
sense, right? So I think we have never gotten to that.
No, yeah, we're very particular with our cash flow, of course. And all payments are collected. We don't have like 60-day credit term, preferably not with our bulk customers, things like that. So all payments are collected before the goods are delivered.
Right.
And we tend to be a little bit more greedy, right? Like so Judy always raps me for listing some of our products on like tools, e-com channels. Like typically for brands you only choose one or the other, right? But I'm doing like 2, 3, because for me it's like my fear is always not bringing enough revenue to sustain the business, right? So I hope I never get to that point. So yeah, I tend to be a little bit more greedy and I try to do a bit more in that sense.
Yeah, makes sense though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next series, bro.
Yeah. Try, we try. Yeah.
Right. And yeah, so yeah, that is good though. I mean, to hear that your cash flow is quite healthy, and as it may feel different. Like when I hear people who like kind of bootstrap their businesses, they always wonder how's it like to raise money. Wish I could raise money.
Yeah.
And then the people who raise money were like, I wish we were profitable.
It's like everybody wants to be on the other side.
Yes. And I think the reason why a lot of tech businesses always you regularly encounter these issues because you typically raise money from like venture capital, and then what the venture capital wants is, I mean, they believe in the business. They think this thing can grow very big. It can scale very fast. It can grow very big. So in some sense, the business has like maybe there are some things that the investors saw that is very healthy, very good. They want to put it in, but by default, because of this, right, the businesses are burning money. Right? So when you're burning money, that also means it's structured in such a way. Maybe there's very high headcount.
Yep.
You invest a lot of money on a lot of things are committed. So
Of course.
it's like a treadmill like that.
Yep.
So you have to keep raising money, maintain that burn. So that's a different challenge.
Yeah, I think their burn rate is high because they're obviously trying to get, market share in the fastest way possible.
Yes.
But we always say that we are here for the long term. So we don't experience that kind of crazy burn rate, but we do things with thought, with care. And yeah, so every move is calculated in that sense.
Yeah. But we also realize that we can only do that up to a certain level, right? And anything beyond that, we definitely have to think about raising as well, raising capital and, talking to people as well, because, we only have a limited, small little, war chest, and that isn't going to get us to the next level as well. So if we ever do, grow beyond what we are right now, conversations like that will happen. So we have actually been asking a lot of our friends as well who have investors, like what it's like, and was it difficult, and what are the kind of challenges that you face, like having to report to a board and, people who actually spend their money and believing into you. Yeah.
I think any business that is up to their 10-year mark will already start entertaining this idea of funding.
Right.
Yeah, because how else will you get to the next 10 years?
How do you go to the next level, right? Like go into malls or like go into like tier 1 malls, more
global expansion.
Global expansion, all that costs a lot.
Yes, that's right. And when your capital is limited, then
It is.
it won't even allow you to do it.
No, because I mean the other side will also ask you, like for your P&L and all that, right? Like and how strong are you to sustain your presence, in their premise, right? So conversations like that has been creeping up. Right. Yeah. So yeah, maybe we can have a conversation with you like, after this and you come from as well. Yeah.
Happy to share what I know. Although I would say from companies that raised money before, I noticed that every story is different.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not even sure if there is a tech. I mean, I'm sure there's some technique involved, but every story is different.
Yeah. I think a lot of people think that, like to open and sustain a business, you need to fulfill certain criteria A, B, C to Z, right? But I feel like every business is different. There's no recipe of success. It's just adapting to the times, right? I'm sure you, as a business owner, know that as well.
Yeah. It's a bit like how you first quit your job to start the company, and the timing was like so unusual. And and I think a lot of it is just there's some element of luck, but at the same time, it's also about you just got to put yourself at the front of the thing. But I'll just say, and then you see, now you kind of roll with the fractures.
Yeah. And take a bit of risk, right? Like see what happens with it, right?
Yes. It's going to be very difficult to like know perfectly when to do what, because you know perfectly when to do what, then other people can see it too. And
exactly.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of competition, So it's very
That's right. So we've had other people in other podcasts ask us, so what's the secret sauce to that success? And honestly speaking, I guess for me it's grit.
Timing.
Great timing. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So it's just mostly that really, and a lot of luck. People coming to us at the right time, and us taking on work that we thought will not be profitable, but like people see us in another light and, are more open to working with us after that, and things like that. Yeah. I think that was important.
Right.
Yeah.
Circling back on your working dynamic as a couple, is that, do you see any advantages to it? Apart from the, 1 hour don't talk to each other in the car. Or...
Then you get someone who you get to bounce ideas, right? But a lot of people say one person is lonely. He is already lonely at the top. So getting someone to bounce ideas, validate your ideas, I think that helps with the advantage of working together. Different strengths, that also obviously help. I can't imagine if there's only one person in the business, I would need to find someone to fill that gap of skill set, right?
Yeah.
What about you?
I agree. Yeah, I think what Julie said was very true. The advantage, I think, for me would be non-stop working hours. Even, when we're doing home chores, and we're like, oh yeah, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? So the conversations never stop, right?
No need to pay OT.
No OT involved. Ooh.
I have a theory. I'm not sure there's any scientific research on it. I have a theory why a lot of businesses succeed when there's a couple involved. It's because that the both co-founders are all in. Because you live together, like you just are so obsessed with thing, and you're not distracted by now it's time to there's rarely personal hobbies because you're just like in it.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. I think you're right. But there are a lot of cautionary tales out there as well.
Right.
Of people telling you like, if you want to go into business with your better half, you really need to think it through, right?
I would again, I don't have any data yet. I suspect great for business relationship wise, something different. Something you need some safeguards around.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like safe words.
Yeah, safe words.
Yeah, it's not from a business point of view, great.
Yeah. Work never stops.
Yeah, your business benefits, but you have to balance it that personal thing.
Yes.
Definitely need to balance, like a lot of times I would tell, because Julie works better at night. Like a lot of creatives work very well, like after dark, and I don't do very well after dark because my brain starts shutting down. So she will start telling me ideas, and I'll
In the middle of the night.
write it down, so I talk to me in the morning, or like, sometime when I'm a bit more awake, I think you just have to figure out what works best for the two of you.
Right.
If you or anybody else ever want to try it, I guess just have to find that, that dynamics.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
And have you, in the process of building this thing together, have you discovered any strengths about each other that you didn't realize before?
Yeah. A lot of things. We definitely learn a lot more about each other, I feel. The good, the bad, the uglies, everything, right? And I think as a person, I know Julie a lot more, and I'm a lot closer to her after having working with her.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Was there anything specific? The good lah. I'm not like you discover anything like good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when it comes to like fulfilling the gap of being artistic and having that creative direction, she knows exactly what she wants. So all the photo shoots, all the videos, all the contents that we've been creating, she has single-handedly given directions, and I'm not involved at all. Right. That part she has. I have definitely been wowed, by her abilities to do it. Yeah.
That creative instinct.
Yeah, the creative instinct, right? And not just churning out fad videos, right? It's a lot of like good content as well. Right? Yeah, I think she has. And we do a lot of very interesting collaborations, and that's all mostly from her as well.
Right.
So we have a studio nearby. We're not too far away from here. And we use it to produce products, right? But recently we turned it into an after dark dessert cafe. Yeah. So, and how did that work, right? So it's like, why? We basically turned the whole thing into like an after dark thing. And that was all her, and and a lot of people really enjoyed it because it was a very interesting third space concept, a production space. People were asking all our team members like, oh, what do you do here? Because all our machineries, all of our tools were on display, but they were sitting there having a very nice time, enjoying themselves. So it gave a completely different perspective of like what people can experience.
This is open to public.
And it was open to public for 2 nights. It was a 2-night thing, So we collaborated with a
home dessert pop-up person, Manisan. Yeah. So I invited her to pop up in our space for 2 nights only. Yeah. And obviously a menu inspired by our scents as well to relate to the collaboration. And people could come in and see not just a workspace, but a social place. And what we did it at night as well, and it gave a whole different mood and feel to it as well. So all around, good vibes, good food, good conversation, which is what we both personally love as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I love this idea. This is why I do the podcast. I'm getting ideas all the time.
Yeah.
As you walked into the office, you see the front, there's like a pretty big lounge and it's kind of underutilized. So when we first got this place, the original idea was to do a lot of community building at the front and the lounge. So I always told, as a company, we have a lot of creatives who love using us. And one idea we had, this was in 2020, before the whole lockdown, right? And we said that, you know what? After hours, this is going to be open to public. You're going to invite people to do the open mic and set up. Just everyone just chill here.
Very community.
Yes, it becomes like a hub for talent. And because the lockdown happened and it shut down,
So
we never got it done. Yeah.
we revive back that idea.
Now you just invite like a pop up.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were the same as well because when we moved into our studio in 2020 as well, and
We were like, we can do yoga here.
because all of our furnitures are on wheels, so we can actually move everything around. And our initial designers were telling us you can even
Talks.
you do host talks, like convert the whole space, from a production space into something else, right? And for the longest of time, we buried that idea because very similarly to you, lockdown happened, and then things got busy as well, and then I think it's just a timing thing. I think when you meet the right collaborators, you will be like, oh yeah, let's do it, Yeah. So just like how we personally, I got inspired by another place as well in KL, Zhongshan Building. There's a design place called Studio Anta. Am I right? Yeah. So at night, they're
Architecture office.
they're an architecture firm. And in the evenings, their meeting room becomes a wine bar.
Oh.
Yeah. So that kind of, got us thinking again about what can we do with our space too. So hopefully,
But not a forceful way, but again, very organic. When you meet the right collaborators, this is perfect.
How did you invite people to come? Just like on social media?
Both of us have a following already. So, we open up tickets reservation. And then people just naturally wanted to come.
Yeah. So, but we went to check her out first, for a meal, right?
Yeah. We were customers of hers. And when we went there, she was burning all our candles.
Yeah.
So obviously I was like,
So the sites are there, right? All right.
yeah, we have to work together. We are already, customers of each of our own brands. So yeah.
We didn't know what. We just said that we wanted to work together, and she was open to it. And then I think a couple of weeks later, she mentioned that she was renting out space in her own home because she was hosting from her own house. So then he stepped in and said, hey,
I can provide a solution. I have a bigger space and, we should, work together. I think our audience is similar, aligned. So this would bring a new offering to people and get KL people excited also. Because I think there's too many events and people are getting bored and jaded. So people want something new.
So the concept's different.
Yeah. We may not be the most pretty cafe or temporary cafe out there, but I would say that we are the most engaging and most real because you get to see us, and our tools as well. And a lot of people were actually very, very curious. When they came, they were like, oh, this is an actual workspace. Like they didn't realize it. They thought it was just like fabricated just for the event.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think people love authenticity.
Yes.
I mean, like, you can even see it online now. Like, sometimes if the video is overly polished, like, it doesn't do as well.
Yeah.
So save, I guess, offline.
Yeah, being real, right?
Yeah. And then speaking of customers, just off camera earlier, before we started, you mentioned that most of your customers were millennial because that's how you started.
Yes.
And now they've all grown up. Like, I would love to hear how you see this and how maybe your products or even messaging might have changed over the years to evolve with your customer or not, or you've sort of like just continued doing the thing and maybe try to look at the new group, which is Gen Z. How do you see it?
I think definitely there are changes because you, as a business, you always need to find new audience as well. Our millennial customers have grown up with us, but I think sometimes their priorities have also maybe shifted to families in terms of spending.
Right.
So as a business, you're always on the lookout for newer audience to tap into. So we've, of course, changed, to keep up with social media, different format videos that are more relevant today. But things that have not changed, I would say, is like our branding, the way we have a certain quality towards some of our visuals, website visuals, our copywriting. So I'm very particular about these kind of things.
Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
those I feel needs to be up to a certain standard. We shouldn't just change certain tone just to sound cool. But of course on social media, then it's a balance between adapting to trends and versus staying true to our branding.
The DNA.
The DNA. Yeah.
Right. So it is quite challenging.
It is. Like we're trying to retain existing customers as well as appeal to newer customers, right? So I'm sure all business owners have the question mark in their brain every night when they go to bed, right? How do we retain and grow at the same time, right? So that, we try to do our best, right? And hopefully that message has been received, right? Yeah.
It's not easy, I mean.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not because like when we all started, like Instagram used to be just static posts, right? And then today it's all about videos, like behind the scenes, like talking to founders, like what we're doing right now.
Yes.
Yeah. So and initially, even Julie and I had a lot of hesitation on getting onto camera simply because we're not used.
Oh yes. Yeah. True.
We come from a generation where we value privacy, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, so doing it does not come naturally to us, but we're trying, we're trying.
Yeah, so now we have to put our face on camera. So like you, right? Besides, managing ops, managing the staff, managing customers, now you have to also do content as well. So carve out time to film content with your face on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's the generation era of, personal branding. People want to see the owners, not just the brand anymore. So that has evolved, yes. We also have Singapore customers now, quite a bit.
Right.
But thankfully, we have similar cultural, we speak the same language and all, so that hasn't changed much. But we do like just specific product offerings or promos for them instead.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting how you say it. I mean, like, it's true. The millennials or Gen Y maybe, I guess, peaked at the Instagram timeline.
Yeah, the flat place, overly curated.
Yes. Like your Instagram feed or profile looks very beautiful, very aesthetically beautiful, and that's what drove a lot of followers, right? And Instagram is driven by followers, right? So, and then now it's like gone a lot. Like, I mean, TikTok is the thing, and it's very video driven.
It is, right? Short form videos and
short form videos and authentic.
Yeah, behind the scenes. Nobody wants to see. No one wants to be hard sold to anymore. Right. Everybody wants to know the story. Wants to relate to the founders, to the people behind, right? The makers itself, right?
Yeah.
So we also have to try and adapt to it as well. We are trying.
Yeah, it's just I guess I see it as another extension of storytelling. So thankfully, I do come from that background. So I'm able to adapt to that. But I think it's more of like, I read somewhere, I saw another person that said that he was very overly conscious about the way he spoke on the camera. Like, is he sounding too Malaysian? Overanalyzing. That's what we millennials tend to do, right?
Oh, right.
That's why we can't deliver 100% raw.
Yeah. Well, we can never be like, hey guys, you know, it's like, oh, we're live, you know. It's like,
Yeah, we're like, do you look okay with that? You know, like, do I sound okay? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. This is quite normal. Yeah, and yeah, but that's what I guess everyone's trying to get to lah. As close to like off camera, on camera, same. You know, like something like that, right? And your life is possible. Yeah.
I guess even the millennial audience is consuming the same content. So, yeah, it's just following along with times and trends.
Right. Was there anything that you've done that wasn't in the original plan? Oh, I don't know whether you even have a plan. I think
I think
it's not.
in the plan.
Was it something that did not like surprisingly worked out well? Was there anything like that?
I think one of the surprising things was how we started as like a B2C brand, you know, weekend markets, meeting customers, setting up an online website. That turned into kind of like a B2B brand. Because naturally, the B2C customers, maybe the customer works for Uniqlo, started bringing in B2B orders to us, inquiries to us, or even a customer who's getting married. Okay, I want to order like a bulk order from you guys. So I think we never expected the B2B side to grow quite significantly for us. Even though we originally started out as a very B2C driven brand, because we had a lot of branding, social media, everything was easy for customers. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Actually, I didn't realize. So you sell both to B2C and B2B.
Yes,
We do.
that's
So we
right.
do a lot of corporate giftings. We do a lot of wedding orders. We do a lot of white labelling as well. So if you do see a candle in the market in KL or in,
You receive, yeah.
I would say 40-50% of the time
It's made by us.
is made by us. Yeah, even though our lady is not there. Yeah.
Oh, that's so
So yeah, so that aspect has, you know, done well for us, which we never expected to do.
right.
Yeah.
Corporate gift.
Corporate gifting.
Corporate
Yeah.
gifting.
Yeah, and we're so new at it. We don't really know much about it as well. Like how to work with agencies for it, and most of the time it's just agencies coming to us, inquiring about it. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that did pretty well. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that I think has grown to the B2B side. People ask me, how many percent does it account for your business now? I think almost 50% now already, which obviously helps to keep the company afloat. Yeah, especially when B2C is so, you know, ups and downs, you know, challenging.
Volatile. It is. And you can only do so much marketing, right? Like if people really don't want to buy or have no interest in buying at that point in time, nothing you know, push is going to sell anyway.
So so we've been putting quite a lot of efforts on the B2B side. Even we partner with restaurants as well, either to send their bathrooms or now even we have soaps, you know, that kind of thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, okay.
So that's one thing I would say.
That's something that a lot of people didn't expect.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
50-50. That's good. I mean, like, you know, we do B2B2C. I mean, we are two-sided in Haiti, right? We sell, employers are the one that pay us because job seekers don't pay us to use the platform, but we market heavily to job seekers. It's related. I think employers pay us because they want to hire the job seekers. So obviously I understand both worlds, and in the B2C and the B2B side, I find it, though once they like you, they really like you. They'll just buy repeatedly. They will have the time to go look for new.
Yes.
But at the same time, you know, usually they buy quite big lah. So there's that risk as well, right?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
lose a customer, oof. Like,
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
You feel it on the bottom line.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think that side also stresses us out a little bit because usually the timelines are really tight, right?
Then I never get to go on holiday anymore. So yeah, I'm the one who replies the quotations to them since they always like, yeah.
On the go, even on the go, we have to like reply and like.
Yeah, sometimes they chase for, you know, quotations, and also it's hard. But it is quite a vital part of the business now already.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Do you spend any time with the customer side and the B2B market?
I think especially like for restaurants and like for collaborators, we do spend a lot more time.
Lifestyle B2B, if that makes sense. Like, like he said, restaurants and all. Not like event companies and all, but I think lifestyle. Those who are interested to maybe do co-branding, have our brand there. And I think we see the value in the exposure of the platform they are going to give us as well, being affiliated with a fine dining restaurant or, like what else? Fine dining restaurant. Yeah, something like that. So we see that as it helps to elevate our branding even more.
Yep.
So we do spend time with them to carve out a better rate, better
experience, better products.
Experience, yeah.
So I think one thing that we always talk to each other when we do come together and we talk to other brand owners is that if we don't support each other, who else will? Because in Malaysia we are relevant and we need to work with each other to do better as well. Yeah, to better serve the market as well.
Yeah, you see, like now chefs are using local ingredients to highlight them, right? We there's an emphasis on that. There's no more like, I just import all my ingredients and there's no storytelling behind it. But now you have like things from
farm to table.
Yeah, and the customers love it too. Yeah.
Right. So do you co-brand with some?
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
We do a lot of ourselves. We do create special products as well.
Special offerings that maybe is not part of our regular range. If there is a request from the B2B site, then yes, we can. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so we do a lot of things.
If you could turn that to 2016, I'm not sure where's a good year, 2016 or 29. But if you could turn back time and give yourself some advice or write a note to yourself, or what that note be? Maybe we can start with you, Junie.
I'm a very risk adverse person. So I think I mentioned the story earlier about how when Marcus wanted to invest in certain machinery or long-term growth scaling, I was quite reluctant. I think I would tell myself to let go a little bit and, trust your partner as well on, that he has the right insights or decisions to bring the business to the next level. Yeah.
I was going to say that too.
Oh, really? Like what?
Oh, okay.
Now I don't know what to say. You have to pick something else.
Yeah. I think I'll expand a bit more on being risk averse because we are self-funded, so I wish we could have taken a bit more risk and grow a little bit faster, especially when times were better, right? Like during the boom, we should have grown a little bit more and produced more products. If we did that, we would definitely be at a different height compared to what we are right now. Not to say that it's good or bad, it's just different, right? I would have done it differently, right? Knowing what I know now. Yeah, I think we've taken a little bit more risk. We both are quite risk averse, so I guess in that sense we're very safe. But being too safe in a business world isn't the best thing.
I think we were slow in hiring. So we were neck deep in operations, which, like Marcus said, was not a good thing. In fact, our accountant told us, like, you're too lean. You're too lean.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. We were like, okay, time to let go and, focus on growth.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that the space you're in now, the mind space?
Yes. Yeah. So I think now we're learning to trust people that they will do things to the best of their abilities. Right, and we focus on expansion and growth and talking to people and build our own personal branding as well, I guess, right? So and we see all of that as an investment to the business, right? Yeah, we are learning to do things that we're not comfortable with as well.
Right. As in like operationally kind of let the team run it a bit.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I still make a lot of the candles, right, with the team, and a lot of the other products as well. I'm still there as well, but into this this context, I'm learning to let them drive it more, and I am able to do a lot more other things as well.
I think, of course, we find our time now is being taken up by calls, outside people, planning, R&D, collaborations, so that market expansion. So I think that also takes up a lot of time now. So we definitely have to let go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it sounds like the decision to scale, I guess, was, you lean to the more visible side in the earlier years.
Yeah. Because I personally think that, like as a company that produces a product, we need to ensure that the product is really good, right? We need to deliver the best product to our ability, right? But by doing that, I think we overachieved on one single product, and we forgot that there is actually a whole other market to serve as well. So that's why now we are learning to balance between that product and also coming out with more products as well.
Right. And as you come up with more products, have you ever clashed over the product itself?
Yeah, of course. Like even that right now we are still clashing over a new product as well. Or yeah. But the clashes never stop.
Right? Is there like a common theme of what the clashes are about? Like maybe because you might care about different things, right?
Yeah, it's always that. Right, like caring about different aspects to bring to the product, and then at the end of the day, whether the customers would appreciate it or not. Right. So like we always go between aesthetics and also functionality as well as operationalizing it. Right. So that conversation happens on a daily basis, I would say.
Right.
Yeah.
I suppose you also be leaning to the functionality and operationalizing it point of view.
Yeah. You're always thinking like, will it be easy enough for the customer to use,
Right.
Or like, will we have a lot of backlash because, like things didn't function as expected, right? So we need to make it as simple as possible and yet achieve the aesthetics that Julie and the rest of the team are looking towards.
Right.
Yeah. So it's never easy.
Right. It's a classic like artist and engineer.
Yeah. Like designer versus engineer. I draw the nicest building and then it's like functionally not possible.
Yeah. No, but I think you need both in every company.
Yeah.
Pretty no.
Yeah. And I think we're very lucky because we have both. Right. Yeah. It's because we've seen other business friends who are only heavy on one or the other side. Right. And it becomes a problem. Right. Yeah.
Right. And how do you resolve it? And then talk until it's resolved.
Yeah.
The
boxing gloves.
We know we need to move forward, especially today where I feel like the clock is ticking.
Right.
If you don't do it, then like Marcus said, there is a push to grow as well. With the ever-changing demands of the market. So we know that I think sometimes we take an approach where, okay, we launch first, and if anything, we can tweak based on feedback.
Right.
Yeah, don't sit on it for too long.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you've heard of this, the 80-20 rule.
Well, it's one of our core values. Yeah. Look on the wall right now. Yeah.
So 80-20, right? So as long as the product is 80% good, let's launch it and get feedback. Stay humble. Don't be too arrogant about it and say that, this is the best product ever. No, I don't think there will ever be such a product. And then the 20% we try to tweak, get feedbacks and overcome it and create a better product, like a better version after that. So that's what I learned in corporate, right? So that's what I try to apply in the business as well.
Right. Yeah, I love that. I mean, we've hired people from like enterprise companies before, and sometimes, because when you're a very big company, I'm going sideways here. When you're a very big company, you have a big brand and all that, so you're much more careful when launching things.
Yes, I agree.
And a lot of them sometimes are very surprised at the way we launched it.
Yeah.
So I will very also be
youngster, right?
They will think it's very gangster. But myself, no. Like, I mean, for me, especially that. We can see and debate about this all you want, but let's just ask the customer. Then legally it depends on watch it and let's see what they say.
Exactly. I think sometimes we're too wrapped up, especially like maybe people like me who I need it to be perfect, then it can launch. But at the same time, after you launch, the response may not be what you expected. So you realize that it's all in your head. So at the end of the day, you're serving the customer.
Yeah.
If no one buys it, then, you're also in trouble. No point as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. So in that sense, I think that's why we enjoy talking to, other business people, right? Because we all face this similar theories, problematic theories, right? And it may not be the same product, may not be the same service, but in theory, it's the same thing, right? It's always the 80-20.
Yes. As long as you get the... I mean, we focus a lot on like just making sure the main things work well.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We use 80-20 in more from an efficiency standpoint. Also, we care a lot about like, are we working on the right things that are going to produce 80% of the results? Because I've seen situations where, there are a lot of people very good at being busy.
Yes.
But even so busy, okay, but how come the
ROI is like 20?
It was very normal. In fact, we even had this experience where we scaled quite big at one point, right? And I found that we were not really performing at the level we wanted. But then when I asked people, that everyone seems like, oh, I'm so busy, I'm so like just stretched. But how come? Right? You never did it.
Operations, right?
Yeah. So a lot of people are. Again, I'll be sidetracking, but I'm thinking it's now when you are eight headcount, it's very easy to kind of direct the team at the right thing because you know exactly what the founder is thinking.
Yeah.
So when you get bigger and bigger, I found it quite challenging.
Yeah.
So sometimes people, especially when you start hiring middle management, some middle management people are very good at hiring people. That's their skill. Their skill is growing their team, their own team. Yeah. And then when you hire people and you don't give them very clear direction, people will create a job for themselves.
Yeah.
You're going to fall into that trap.
Okay.
And they create a job and they're legitimately busy because they create a job because they're hired, I need to do something.
Yes.
Right? So they create a job for themselves. But there is no alignment, right?
Yeah.
Then it's, it doesn't look like, the impact is very
minimal.
Yeah.
That's good advice. We definitely remember that.
yeah.
Yeah.
When I went to the 80-20 thing, I said, whoop, what's that?
Yeah.
It's like, it's a poster hanging on the wall.
Yeah. So we're always making sure that the team is result driven.
Right.
So I guess in that sense, theoretically, it's also still 80-20 as well, right? So you do 20% of the work, make sure that you hit 80% of the results, right? Don't do 80% work and only get 20% results, right?
Yes.
So that's where we come in to think about automation, machineries and stuff like that. So we do have like, because I come from a tech background as well, so we do have like bots doing mundane work for us as well, like things that I'm offloading, and I'm always asking the team as well, like, if you're doing this on a month-to-month basis and it's the same thing over and over again, can we automate it?
All
Right? It may not be AI, it may not be the most fancy thing in the market, right? But it works for us, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and it makes the team's life easier as well. Then they can focus on doing more, fun things, more things that deliver actual results to the business, as opposed to like you said, creating work.
You're utilizing their true skills.
Yeah,
I would say, rather than just clicking the printer to print receipts or like.
And nobody wants to do work like that, right? Like, and it's not growing the team as well. So we try to offload as much as we can as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And from a product perspective, 2 questions. What's your most popular product? And the second one is, what is you believe is what's the word I'm looking for? Like a understated, but I'm not sure you know what I mean. Like, it's something that
The underdog.
but actually this is amazing. Yeah, actually you could have sold more, but somehow it's not. Like,
Yeah.
I think bestseller, hands down, is our neroli and ylang ylang scent. In internal joke is we say customers consume it like cocaine.
Yeah,
Not sure we're allowed to say that.
Because every time we look at the sales number, it's like, what the hell? Like, what do they need? Yeah.
Oh, there's something about the smell.
There's something about the smell that Malaysians really, really, really like. And
Because no matter what, we tried launching new product range without that scent, we still get requests. Oh, do you have this in that scent instead? Neroli and ylang. Then we're like, okay, fine. We gotta like release it now in that scent.
Right.
And then it just overtakes the rest again.
Oh, I see. So
Yeah.
the product changes.
The product changes.
The
one-
but
the
the-
one
Yeah, so that's quite cute, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I must try it now.
Yes. The backings, the fans of that particular scent is very, very strong, and they are ever grateful for it. Like it's not that we're not grateful for it. It's just that the team thinks that there's a lot of other scents that's worth looking into as well. So we have other scents such as the chamomile and osmanthus. I think it's a very complex scent. It's very herbaceous, and it's actually one of our most expensive scents as well from a costing perspective, right? It's easily double of everything else that we produce.
Right.
And it doesn't get a lot of love. I'm not sure why.
Right.
Maybe because it's too out there, too frontier, right?
Right.
I hope that people will come to enjoy it someday. And yeah, I think that scent is really, really the underdog.
Right.
I personally really like it when I produce it. I find that is one of the most understated, the most underdog in our range.
Right.
The next one will be the black pepper and patchouli.
Yeah. That's our latest one we just
our latest.
launched.
Yeah.
That was the one that we launched for other products, new products, but we didn't launch the Neroli bestseller. Yeah. But then eventually people still request for, you have this in Neroli? Yeah. So I was like, give the black pepper a chance to shine,
Black pepper, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people are put off by the name itself, like black pepper, right? Is it got sounds spicy?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, but like the scent that we produce are all still very well balanced, I would say. So it's not exceptionally spicy or exceptionally off something, So we do try to balance it all out, and it's pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, when I heard black pepper, yes, spicy, and the feeling is like very masculine. I don't know. They're like a masculine.
It's the opposite, actually. It's woody and floral at the same time. There are floral notes in it, so it's not too overly masculine or spicy. So like Marcus said, it's balanced out with different scent notes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I'm sorry. The two scents you named earlier, Mark.
Is the chamomile and osmanthus, as well as the black pepper and patchouli.
Right. Are those your favorite scents?
Yeah, they are. They are actually my favorite right now, and I always like scents that a lot of people don't like. So I guess I would champion the underdogs.
Right. How about you, Julia? Are those your favorite scents, or you have different favorite scents?
I wanted to say black pepper and patchouli as well, as one of the underrated scents. I would describe it as like a fabulous city scent. That's how to describe it. Yeah.
Fabulous city scent.
Yes.
Right.
Especially in our hand and body wash. Yeah. I love that. So every time I come out from the shower, I'll tell him, it's fabulous. Sometimes maybe we are biased because it could be that we are kind of a bit too jaded with the old sense already. So this is a new sense. So sometimes it kind of like wakes up my senses. Like, my senses are a little bit more in tune with it because it's something that we haven't produced too much of. Whereas maybe the other sense, I always smell it. So my senses are a little bit dull already. Like if you're a chef, you don't eat your own food, right?
Right.
Yeah, you go back eating instant noodles.
Yeah.
Right. That's right. Yes.
So something like that. Yeah.
Because you prepare it, and for some reason,
Yeah, it's all dull and you don't feel like it, right?
it's like work. It's
Yeah.
your work. Right?
Yeah,
It is. Also, I find interesting that you describe it as like a fabulous city because I think there are some scents that sort of transports you somewhere else. Like even if it changes the way you feel.
Yes.
Like, absolutely. Yeah. Super curious what a fabulous city smells like. Yeah, it's very
edgy.
Yeah, before you do that, you need to try the Neroli and Ylang, the bestseller.
I'm so concerned I won't get off it.
Then you won't explore the
I know, right? Yes, we got it. Now like a
Part of the gang already.
yeah, got like a subscription model, right? Yeah. Do you have any guiding principles when you come up with new products? Any like some kind of, I don't know, framework? Well, I don't know. Wonder what we have these like 3 rules or 4 rules.
Okay. I think for me, it will always be what's best for the customer. Right? That is our guiding principle, right? We want to bring products that are not harmful to the environment as much as possible, cost effective, as well as something that the customers need and appreciate, right? Just like when we first started out, when we did it in 2016, there were brands that were very, very cheap, and there were brands that were excessively expensive, right? So we tried to bring a product that gave people an alternative, but yet did not compromise on quality. So I think that kind of became our guiding principle for the rest of the products as well.
Right.
Yeah. So hence why when Julie mentioned earlier that our diffusers are non-alcohol based, that took us 3 years to convince the manufacturers that, or to sell it to us at a very, very small quantity.
Right.
Yeah. So in order to get that particular product, right, that material, right, we insisted on waiting for the manufacturers to come back to us.
Right. Right.
So it's guiding principles. Yeah, those were pretty much all it, right? I suppose. Yeah. Customer focus. Yeah. Right.
For me, yeah, also how it ties in with our current range. Like I say, if we were to launch a new product, as you can see now, all our products are scented, right? So that's why I say possibility, even not just home fragrance, but also personal fragrance as well in future. Who knows? But we also see ourselves as a lifestyle brand. So, there is a possibility sometimes we may do other product offerings that would complement our product as well. May not necessarily be fragrance, but something that could complement it. Yeah. And cost-wise, I would say, is still a factor for us. Balancing between what customer wants and costing is a struggle sometimes. And then we also adapt to what the market is reacting to. Like if we feel now the market is a little bit soft, then we try to go for something. And we notice the consumer pattern is buying smaller items. So we try to now tailor our product to, okay, they're doing smaller bites. Let's give them smaller bites. We still have to survive, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Still quality products, but maybe at a lower price point, let's say. Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay. How has your own growth shaped, Lilin+Co's leadership and culture?
That's a very good question. I came from corporate, right? So, and I've been drilled since day one that inefficiency is most important because I came from consulting, right? So, I tried to apply the same thing to work in Lilin+Co as well. Case in point, we almost never do OT work. So like in the manufacturing world, OT is a very common thing, right? Like just to keep up with demands or a sudden surge, right? So we spend a lot of our time planning to ensure that deliverables are met on time and expectations are managed, right? So it's a very corporate mindset applying to producing products, right? So, and I think that has worked very well for us. Thankfully, we hardly ever do OT or, work weekends and stuff like that. Because a lot of makers, they always struggle with this part where they burn out because they work till like 2, 3 in the morning and then get up at 9 a.m. and do it all over again day after day, right? So, thankfully, because of our planning, I get pretty good sleep. So, so we're always very focused on the next day, right? Like we try to tell the team that, hey, we try and achieve everything within this set amount of time. Then you go home, you rest, and then you come back fresh and ready to take on the day again, right? As opposed to working 10, 12, 13 hours just to chase a deadline and then come back the next day feeling like crap, right? Yeah. So, and because we also hold the QC levels pretty high, so we expect everybody to be fresh, when you start the day so that you're able to QC your own work as well. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that's
For yourself.
Yeah, so it helps that our products are not perishable, so we're able to also
produce a hit.
For myself, it's still a struggle, I would say. I don't think I'm a born leader in that sense. And I'm quite emotional as well. So, I think what I use is like we have been employees before, maybe for at least 10 years before we started this business. So I think what I use is I don't want to be like my bosses. Let's say I use that as a guiding principle. Like, my boss used to do this. So we try to be like the better version bosses ourselves. Okay, like Marcus say, no need OT if there's no need for an OT. What did our bosses do back then that we don't want to replicate as well? Yeah. Open door policy, open comms, flexibility. Let's say if a team member comes to us and say, they need a special work arrangement because of certain personal circumstances that's happening in their life. Okay, we are open to, discuss. So I think that's, what I do.
I suppose because you've been employees before.
Yeah.
I'm using my own words here. You can see it from
their eyes.
sides.
Yeah.
Right? So you just based on your own experience, you just want to make sure that sometimes you treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yes.
As best as possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll use the word as best as possible.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But sometimes maybe our standards are also very different because 10 years ago, the working world was very, very different.
Work culture was very
Today. We're also trying to cope and trying to learn as well if there's any new standards.
Right.
Yeah, like I will ask him like, I just got a question or a demand from a person I interviewed today. And then I ask him, do you also ask that to your boss? I'm trying to think like, sometimes I get shocked by things that, they demand or they ask these days.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're also learning as we go as well, and we're trying to adapt. And where possible, we try to be very, very civil about it. Right?
It's still a work in progress, I would say. Not perfect for sure.
Yeah.
We're not born leaders, definitely.
Right.
Where we're trying to manage it the best we can. And I mean, it's open, right? If people want to give us feedback, okay, we try to listen and see what we can do about it. But I think most of the time people are they don't give us feedback. Maybe like you said, there's no middle management or what sometimes. So
Right. Did you manage people when you were working?
yes, but for me, they were closer to my age. So like, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, if anybody's worked anywhere for after 10 years, right? Like, you will eventually have to come into a position where you're managing a smaller team.
Or even an intern, right? You're technically managing the intern too when you were working.
Yeah. But I think managing people then and now is very different. Like, before COVID and post-COVID, things have accelerated, and work culture is completely different, actually.
Right.
Yeah. We're trying, right? We're also asking ourselves, is this right? Like, are they asking the right questions, or are we giving, sufficient, or are we being too stingy, or are we not? Are we being too nice, or things like that?
Yeah. Too much freedom, or,
Yeah.
Are we giving too much freedom? Should we set some ground rules, maybe,
It's tough. I sometimes again, I mean, the reason why I say as best as possible just because I feel that a lot of people are learning, and I see some leaders that are trying to be good leaders.
Yeah.
So they set the bar quite high, but
Yeah.
they're going to disappoint themselves too. Yes, because you're going to find that it's very difficult.
Yeah.
And a good leader is and I give a very simple example, right? Like you obviously if the company is not your family per se, and they are not actually your kids, but let's say I have children of my own, and if I ask them what they want to do, they'll say I want to watch iPad all day, but clearly it's not good for them, right? So, but if I take away the iPad, say, oh, you're not a good papa, like they might feel this way, right? So it's kind of like, but you need to figure out how to create an environment where they are doing the best for themselves.
Yep.
But it's never going to be perfect. That's always.
Yeah. Because we find that everyone's preference is also different. It's individual to each person. One person may prefer company trip. Another person may prefer OT pay, that kind of thing. So sometimes we feel like, oh, maybe some companies really like short sendiri company trip, but actually no one wants to attend. It's the truth. Yeah, right? People feel forced to attend, Maybe it's just better you buy them a staycation and they go themselves.
Yeah, I mean, don't even talk about company trip. Sometimes when we I organize some night outs with the team. Like, let's chill and stuff, right? But I get a sense that not everyone wants to be there.
Yeah, they're only there to say because they are a yes man.
No, my boss have to come. Like, yeah, to go, right? Yeah, I go home, like. So, it's a learning process. I don't know what's the right thing.
Yeah.
Different people want different things and all that, right?
So I
That's
think
what we realized.
we're still very lucky because the team is smaller than 10 packs. So it's easier to have a one-on-one time and ask them what they want.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
When they want what would make them happy. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And to the best of our abilities, we try to meet it.
Yeah. Okay, so 2 more questions.
Okay.
First one is, has there been a personal hobby or something that you really love doing that you sort of had to put on hold because you're obviously so busy building this?
You want to go first?
You go first.
Yeah. I think for me, not really. Simply because, like I mentioned earlier, we spend a lot of time planning for things. So we try to use our time as efficiently as possible. Back when we were still doing this as a side gig, we missed a lot of family and friends events, simply because we took on jobs that we had to fulfill during the weekend, right? And any public holiday. So thankfully, Malaysia has a lot of public holidays, so we were able to do a lot more than anticipated. But today we are able to balance a little bit better. We try to at least. We try to go on to do our own things as much as we can, and because it's also important that we come back with a fresh pair of eyes as well. I think we do emphasize a lot on rest, right? Because without proper rest, and I've been through it before. I've worked 7 days, 12 hours a day kind of thing, 14 hours a day as well. First one to open the door, last one to lock up as well. And I do realize that your performance deteriorates as, time passes, right? So I try not to apply that lifestyle or that kind of work style to my own business, right? So thankfully, I think for me, I've been able to do a lot of things these days, right? I am.
Okay, so you have more time for hobbies, is it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Julie says that I'm pretty good with my hands. I don't think so, but I like to do more things with my hands, So like I do a lot of other things, besides work. Does work take up a lot of my time? Yes. I do some work on the weekends, but not because I have to, but because I want to, right? Like our latest ventures, we've actually internalized a whole range of ceramics. So we actually make ceramics on our own. But to achieve that, we go through a process of slip casting, whereby you create molds and stuff like that. So I don't sit, I don't throw my own potteries, by hand. So I've been learning 3D design, on the weekends just to upskill myself, as well as create stuff for the business as well. And I do it on the weekend, not because I have to do it, because I want to do it. I'm intrigued by it. Yeah.
That's actually our latest extension to the business.
Yeah.
The pottery thing.
Yeah.
That we've kind of unexpectedly ventured into, but we see it as a complementary addition to bring our customization and creative. It allows us to also be more creative with our product offering. Yeah.
Right. So it started as like a personal curiosity, and now it's in the business.
I don't know, how did you get the idea?
Sort of. I think it's more the other way around. Like, we always had this problem where people are asking for different kind of vessels for our candles and different colors, different shapes and stuff like that. But every time we ask our suppliers about it, the answer will always come back to MOQs and, committed quantities, right? And it's really high. So we thought, if we internalize this, we are able to take on more creative projects at a smaller MOQ, without being bound by, the quantities that we have to commit to and the costings that we have to commit to as well.
Yeah. So it started as a roadblock, a challenge, actually, which in the end, how do we overcome it? After speaking to third-party people who may be able to supply, but they couldn't. So Marcus was like, toot it. let's internalize this ourselves. How much can it be? Then 2 years later,
Yeah.
2 years later, okay, finally got it up and running after all the R&D, the importing all the equipment in and
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
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 Right. I find that to be a typical founder traces. Yeah, but very toxic, right? You all do it.
Because the say, fix the toilet. One broken toilet later.
Yeah, my team always say that like, the thing that they joke about a lot is I say, oh, very easily, also hard. Right?
Yeah. I try not to say that out loud, but I try to internalize it, and
Right.
I do take the lead on trying to fix it as well, and trying to like explore it on my own and really experience the pain before opening up to the team and saying like, hey, this is what we're gonna be doing. Do you think the pain is worth it and stuff like that? So I try to experience it first, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any personal hobbies you put on hold, Julie?
Well, as Marcus said, just mostly in the early days, but I wouldn't say. I would say that does traveling count as a hobby?
I think it does. It does.
So I think it's not so much of a personal hobby per se, but I would say it was more of like, sometimes I think like, oh, okay, I gave up my job actually. My job, my previous day job back then, it was a really fun job. I got to travel a lot and experience a lot. So I think I gave that up for the business.
Right.
And that's why it also took me like 1 year after Marcus transition to actually transition, because it was a little bit hard for me to give up that. Yeah.
We love traveling.
Yeah, I love traveling and also being in that space that allows me to, meet people, be creative and all that. Yeah.
And her previous job gave her the opportunity to embark on experiences that even money cannot buy.
Yeah, and I personally also love these kind of experiences because it kind of opens up endless possibilities. Like I'm just, really into it.
Right.
So I got to translate that to our business, of course, when we started this business. But yeah, sometimes I do miss it. Yeah. If that counts as a personal hobby.
Start a regional business.
Yeah, so I'm
Right. Judy's in a regional role.
That's regional role, right? Pick a country you like. Try to travel to, not because there's good business there, but because you like the country.
yeah, exactly. So I always ask, this one approve or not to him, Like the recent trip I went, I was like, okay, I'm going with my friend. Approve or not, approve or not. Yeah.
Source a supplier from Japan.
You gotta, hold down the fort and also approve everything. Yeah.
I think the travels and experiences has definitely helped the business, right? Like opening up your horizon. Like, even if you are not actively looking for something, like we have gone into a mode where when we see something, we analyze it, right? I don't know if that's a founder's trait or an...
Because work never leaves your mind, right? Even if you're on vacation, you're just, this one can be a good idea for work,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look at that service.
Yeah, sometimes we're standing in front of a retail shop before going in just to appreciate everything that they've done for the retail shop. We're touching the materials, and we're not just like walking in and buying something. We're like looking at, what did they use to like build this shop up? It's like, how did they do it? Why do you think they did it? And can this be applied back home?
Yes.
So traveling is important, and that's something she has taught me, right? And I think it's something that has definitely helped a lot in the business.
It's hard to experience digitally as well. You need to be physically there to see how these things are done.
Yeah, we're like bunch of weirdos like just standing outside the retail shop, and we're like, oh yeah, this is like very nice. What material do you think they used? And just appreciating the shop in general, because we're in the business of it. That's all. Yeah.
I agree. I think ideas come from anywhere, or even the people you meet or the relationships can come from anywhere. Like you walked into the Highly office, you see right at the front of the door, there's this little poster that says outward. And we put it out there because we found at one stage of our growth, everyone was very inward. Like everyone's just spending so much time in the office, in the little bubble, so obsessed about us, that they didn't spend enough time in the outside world, I'm not really talking just about meeting customers. I'm actually talking about like just doing stuff outside the office. And that's where a lot of these ideas and relationships come from. And we also try to encourage that kind of like mindset.
Yeah. Actually, quite interestingly, like, because we also acknowledge that we can't travel as much sometimes, we met actually like a B2B client who told us that he works for a restaurant. When he comes over to KL, his boss actually gives him an allowance to spend at restaurants here in the name of research, right? And of course, bring back whatever information or things he has experienced here back to Singapore. So we thought of like, okay, we can also roll that out to one of our more senior staff members who travels quite a bit, maybe to Korea, Japan on an annual basis. And we also tried to do the same by empowering her. Hey, you know what? You're going to like Korean next year. Be on the lookout for any interesting fragrance stuff. Purchase them if you feel like we need to bring them back for R&D. So we kind of like roll out the same thing as well within our team members. Yeah, because they are basically our eyes and ears, right? And if we feel they have that kind of what do you call it? QC, the taste, the eye for it.
Products,
Yeah.
she has,
Then we have no problem, you know, empowering them to also help us with this part as well.
like photos, videos, you know, buy the product itself, because we can't be everywhere at the same time, right? And it'll be too costly for us to do like a yearly, you know, research trip to Korea or Japan or something like that. And trends just change so fast as well, man. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Last question. So what's the future for Lilin+Co?
World domination. I wish. Yeah. I think just steady growth, right? Weathering through the uncertainties that are looming over our heads right now.
Right.
I would really like to see the brand make it to its 20th anniversary. So we've always gone in the approach of slow but steady, right? So we're not entirely chasing trends. We're just, you know, growing to meet people's demands and requests. And yeah, I think just try to stay true to the cause of the brand, I guess.
I think we are pushing a lot of, for the past 2 years, we've been brand building a lot in Singapore. And we definitely see there's potential for there. So we are still pushing that in terms of new collaborations, pop-ups, short-term leasing, retail space, maybe perhaps. And I think ultimately we've always discussed is that we want to redefine the word Buatan Malaysia. Yeah, because again, even for our Singapore customers, oh, are you Singaporean brand? No, we are Malaysian. And they get like, wow, you know. Previously, there was a negative connotation to being a Malaysian brand. Oh, you know, ew. And yeah, the term Buatan Malaysia is not sexy. We have to say that. So we are trying to bring something different on a global quality level that Buatan Malaysia can be proud of. Yeah.
I think that's quite unique to us and other brands in Malaysia that actually produces products here in Malaysia. We do have that, like Julie mentioned, the connotation that it's not a sexy thing.
Not as sexy as made in Japan, made in Korea.
Yeah, that sells, right?
Yeah.
Or the moment you say made in Japan, made
There's prestigious, there's quality attached to that word.
Yes.
So the few of us, we are trying really, really hard to change that perspective, and that is happening. You will see a lot more brands that are very proudly made in Malaysia and of high quality as well, right? And pricing wise, definitely not anywhere close to your upmarket brands, right? But quality behind the scenes is and QC is still up there. Yeah. So I think Julie's right.
Cheers. Yeah. Love it. Keep flying that Malaysian flag.
Yeah. So you were trying.
Yeah. Right. Thank you, Julia and Marcus.
No, thank you. Thank you
for sharing so candidly everything that's happening in the company and like the dynamic of building a business together.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we were, like we mentioned off screen earlier, we were very surprised that you invited us.
I enjoyed this conversation and you were very raw with it too.
Yeah,
that's so amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.